Okay, so we get out of the embassy. I go back to the check-in where the five big dudes and the Tongan woman. She wasn't Tongan. She was just a big Filipina. Huge. Maybe she was trans. I don't know. But anyway, she had an attitude. It was awful. And so I left. I find my way back to Eva. And I asked where Eva was. They said they made her stand outside because she had the laptop and she wouldn't put it down. It's like she wouldn't put it down, or you just told her to get out. And so, anyway, we're free. We have to get back to the airport. And another fiasco at the airport. The woman takes all of my papers, my passport, boarding passes, everything. So I'm standing there with my thumb up my butt, and Eva's milling around, stressing out because she's got to catch a flight too. And she has a 6 p.m. flight. And it turns out that it wasn't a 10 a.m. flight for me. It was a 10 p.m. flight to LAX on American Airlines. Yeah, great. So here it is, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm going to starve to death. And anyway, we fiddly farted around, and I'm getting really upset because all of my paperwork, my passport, everything is gone. And it turns out that the booking agent from American Airlines was trying to follow this. Okay, this is something that is really difficult for me to understand. She saw in my paperwork that I was being deported. The word deported caught her attention. But I wasn't being deported. I left of my own volition. And the commissioner of Philippine immigration sent me a letter telling me that I had to leave before April 2nd. Here it is, February 12th, right? Had to leave before April 2nd or they would start proceedings. So there was no subpoena, there was no warrant for my arrest. I wasn't deported technically. They were just suggesting that I leave before. And the reason that they were going to deport me was because I had unpaid visa extensions. I only got one visa extension. I married Eva, and then people told me, hey, you're now a dual citizen. You don't have to do that anymore. There's no more need for even a visa. You're all set. You're one of us, man. Um, Sorry, not true. There's no country in the world that gives you dual citizenship just because you marry somebody from their country. Never, ever, ever let anybody tell you that. And if you like the place that you're staying, do get your visa extensions on time. The Philippines was fairly cheap. I think it was like $10 for 3 months. But I was there for 7 years. And that's what, 40 bucks a year. That's a big deal to the Filipinos. And they were nice about it. They just said, you need to leave, sir. And so I did. But this woman apparently thought that there was a problem and that I needed to be checked out by the Department of Immigration. And she started this snowball. And it's like, oh my God, you people. What are you trying to do? You're trying to give me a heart attack? You're trying to kill me? What? I've already had 2 diabetic strokes. I don't need another one. So, somewhere along the way, the lady at U.S. Embassy Philippines immigration people told me, here, Here is your passport. This piece of paper, do not let anybody separate these two. When you give your passport and your boarding passes, make sure this piece of paper goes with it. Well, apparently this chick had separated the two, or she didn't bother to read the piece. It was actually stapled. So there was no way she had to physically remove it. It couldn't have been taken off by accident. But it was a letter from the U.S. Embassy saying, do not detain this man. And there was a list of reasons why not to detain me. So I get pissed and I start telling them, the U.S. Embassy arranged all of these flights. They booked these flights. It's in concrete. And I'm going home to Maine. And so they started to really snap to when I told them that the U.S. Embassy had booked the flights. And they were thinking canceled flights and all this other stuff and giving me the runaround. But as soon as I said U.S. Embassy, they were like, okay, Mr. Moody. Yes, sir, Mr. Moody. And yeah, so it was kind of crazy. And I finally got on the plane to Los Angeles, and man, what a hassle.